Hoosier fans, welcome back. This is another episode of Under the Hood with Indiana football, presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of IU football. Reminder to get out there and visit your Central Indiana Ford dealer today. I'm Rhett Lewis. I'm excited to be here with you after a 1-0 start from the Hoosiers following a win over Old Dominion, and fired up to welcome Amari Farrell to the program here. One of the Hoosiers starting safeties, had an interception in that game, which we'll get to, but excited to chat with you, Amari. Thanks for giving us a few minutes here, bud.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Hey, let's talk about this thing, man. 1-0, right? A win is a win is a win. We love winning, and winning is always good, no matter what. But I get the feeling, and as Coach Sig said, it did leave a feeling of unsatisfied, right? Was maybe a way to describe it. How would you describe the mentality of the team now that you get back out for another week of practice following that one?
I would say our mentality is definitely, go out there and kill anybody that's in front of us. When you have a chance to put a team away, we got to put them away. I felt like defensively, we let them, those two big plays, gave them real big confidence, kept them in the game a little bit. So, defensively, we just have to make sure we don't give up no big plays and make sure everybody's on the same page. And like I said, just a killer mentality all around.
Yeah, and look, I obviously you don't want to give up a 75-yard touchdown on the first play of the game, but how impressed were you with the way that the defense and the team overall kind of responded in the face of that to come right back and score a bunch of unanswered points and keep them from the end zone?
It's just a little bit of adversity. On the first play of the game, like you said, they scored 75 yards. I was just telling everybody, me and Fish was just telling everybody on defense, just calm down. We all right. It's just a missed assignment that, was easily fixable. So offensively, everybody just stayed calm. Everybody kept their poise. Everybody just stayed calm.
I think you did fix it. I think they ran the same play like 12 plays later, and
Exactly.
it was like a 9-yard gain or something. I felt like Wyatt got held on that play, but we don't have to get into that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I know you've talked a lot about, and you just mentioned it there, your communication with Aiden Fisher, who is, one of the leaders of this defense. You're one of the leaders of that secondary too. Like, what is that communication like between you guys on a play-to-play basis, and how has it grown over the last year?
I feel like the communication and connection with us has grown a lot because we're both on the strong side of the field, so me and him get a chance to talk every single play. He tells me things, I tell him things that allows us to play fast as we can and allows others to play fast as they can too.
And just one last one on, some of the adversity that you guys faced, and obviously there was some that the offense dealt with too. Do you feel like though that early miscues like that can be really valuable moving forward to get that rep, to get that coached up and fixed, as opposed to that happening later in the year?
Yes, sir. Like we said, we glad it happened, first game instead of, like week 6, week 7. So we were allowed to go into the film room, fix everything, coaches got everything right they came and coached us hard, to make sure what we have to do for, the next games coming up.
Another pick for you, as I mentioned in this one, you had 4 last year. Get your first one of 25 in game 1. How do those kind of game-changing plays? Because look, that's what takeaways are, right? Give the offense a chance to score. You take away a possession. How does that kind of play fuel your confidence building, throughout the game and then obviously throughout the year?
First and foremost, I just want to give praise to Coach Haynes for putting me in those positions to make those plays. Like they say, everybody in this defense gets a chance to make those plays, but when those plays come to you, you have to make those plays. So you know, in that formation, we knew what they like to do in that formation, so that's what allowed me to play fast.
Look, preparation brings you around the football. When you're around the football, good things happen,
Sure.
and that's what we saw. And you kind of led me right into this next question. It's just about Coach Haynes and that scheme, and why do you feel like it is such a fit for you to maximize your skill set back there at safety? Because you did make a little bit of a switch midway through last season.
Uh, I feel like the coaches trust me. They allow me to play fast. They allow me to use my IQ of the game. They know I have a good IQ of the game, so they allow me to play fast. They allow me to communicate, and they know I like to help others around me play faster, play better. So
Yeah, I love that mentality. And speaking of guys around you, some moving parts back there in the secondary this year with some new pieces. Boykin comes over, saw a lot of time in this game. Same with Lou Moore, who is kind of new but old, familiar, right? Coming back to IU, and with Baldwin out, those two guys played a bunch. So how are you getting accustomed to the way that they play and the way that you guys can play together?
Majority I feel like it's them being able to understand what we're looking for in this system. They both came from different systems, so it's a little different. But me personally, I just like to talk to them and tell them what the coach is like. What do we like in this system? How can they make plays? Things like that. So everybody's on the same page.
And then at corner, another pick for D'Angelo Pons, which shouldn't surprise anyone. But is there another level to his game that he can elevate to?
I mean, yeah, he I wouldn't say it's too many things he has to work
Yeah.
on, but everybody has to improve. But he's just a guy that you can trust him on an island one on one by himself against whoever, and it's just so great to have a cornerback like that on your team where he shuts down that whole side of the field, so I'm just so thankful he's on our team.
And on the other side, obviously, we got to see a lot of Jamari Sharp last year, starting, on the other side this year. You guys kind of grew up in this program together a little bit as younger guys. What's impressed you about his progression?
He actually came a long way, that's one of my best friends in the secondary. Like you said, we grew up, we grew together. I came here, he was already here, so we already have a lot of chemistry. So, we talk a lot, we watch film together, all of us watch film together. So, I feel like that's what allows us to play the way we play.
And look, at some point you're going to have to rely on other pieces to come in. Whether it's in a rotation or if guys go down. So who's the next guy in the pipeline that Hoosier fans need to know in the secondary?
I would probably say, Jaja Boyd, of course, Byron Baldwin, when he gets healthy and stuff like that. Garrett Reese. We have a lot of young guys that have high potential, that I feel like if needed, we could also definitely put them out there and they would contribute.
I love that. Love that feeling that you can next man up is right there, ready to go in that Indiana secondary. All right, last one here for you. What kind of challenge are you expecting from a Kennesaw State team that nearly pulled off an upset at Wake Forest a week ago?
Just watching film on them, they play real hard. They have a quarterback that I'm familiar with, Dexter Williams. He's a really good athlete, really good quarterback. He makes the right reads, he can run, he makes good throws, and he also has a little bit of playmakers around him. So this would definitely be a game for us to come in and be disciplined, read our keys, and not have any misassignments, and just play Indiana football.
All right, Amari. Excited to watch you get after it this weekend, man. Fired up for another opportunity at the Rock, and look forward to seeing the Hoosiers try to go 2-0 this weekend. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for giving us some time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's another episode of Under the Hood with IU Football, presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. I am Rhett Lewis. Get out there and pack the rock, and we will see you next week.
Yes, sir.